Hey, it's David with the Architect's Griddle. It's 4th of July weekend and we are going to do grilled spaghetti and we're going to saute some mushrooms. We've already done a video with the grilled spaghettis, but this will be more focused on sauteing the mushrooms, which my people seem to really like to eat as a side dish with the spaghetti. But anyway, we're going to throw the meat onto the grill. I have my gloves on. I've mentioned before, the gloves are really convenient to where I don't have to go wash my hands every time I touch the meat. Throw that on, gloves off, and I'm still cooking. And then the mushrooms we'll throw on in a few minutes. They do not take long at all to saute. But I do have my multiple spatulas to cook the meat. You're just going to break it up so it can all cook. Kind of create as much surface area as possible for the meat to cook on the grill. It is what feels like about 100 degrees out here, and in front of the grill it feels like it's about 150 degrees. So we're not going to be out here long, but thought the sauteing of the mushrooms might make for a good quick video. We have a bunch of hungry kids inside ready to eat, and we're talking about whether or not to use the grill today, but it's so convenient to just warm up the grill and throw all this meat on it and not do it inside in a small pan. We can do it on a 36-inch griddle. It's kind of a no-brainer even though it is hot outside. So we're going to brown this meat real quick. We've already cooked the noodles, so we have about a pound of spaghetti noodles ready to go. And we're just going to break this up a little more. Okay. As you can see, it doesn't take long at all for this meat to brown on a real hot grill. I'm just turning it over and it's beautifully browned. It smells great. And last time we did grilled spaghetti, it had a grilled flavor to it, which everyone seemed to enjoy. Just going to add a little salt, little pepper. This was a recommendation from a comment on one of the videos, which is a good comment. I'm also going to add a little bit of the Tony Chachere's seasoning. And like I said, it browns amazingly fast. So while this meat is browning, we're going to take the mushrooms. And part of what makes these mushrooms cook well on a griddle is to add a little bit of water and steam them somewhat. Like that. Those are cooking. And one other ingredient we're going to add is some minced garlic. I'm going to do it to both. Not too shy with it. It'll cook down. The meat is almost fully browned. I'm going to turn some of the garlic into the meat. And I'll keep these mushrooms going with the garlic. Kind of nice to have the edges of the griddle push the mushrooms against when flipping them. And I usually add a little bit of olive oil to these mushrooms to keep them from drying out. We'll do a little salt and pepper. So for the spaghetti today, we're using ground sirloin, which is like 90% and 10% fat. A little bit less fatty spaghetti, kind of health conscious to a certain degree. Break up these mushrooms a little bit. Kind of talked about the bed swing outside in the last video, and as you can see, it's one of the favorite spots in the outdoor patio. Another couple minutes and this hamburger will be fully browned. Right now there's only a few chunks with a little bit of red in them. In a second, we're going to separate these two and pour the noodles on. We're going to mix in the meat, and then we're going to mix in the Cajun Power Cajun spaghetti sauce. This one has a little more spice and zest to it than the average, and we really enjoy it. All right, the hamburger's looking good. I've broken any large chunks of hamburger just to make sure it's fully cooked. It looks great. You don't want to overcook it and dry it out. It's going to cook a little bit in the spaghetti on the grill. Mushrooms are almost ready. And if you can come in close here, you can see the garlic and olive oil all sizzling on the griddle. Good enough to make anyone hungry. And now we're going to add the pasta. One thing I did forget was to add my butter to the mushrooms. There we go. I'm not sure if it's a mushroom dish or a butter and garlic dish with mushrooms, but either way, it's going to be good. I'm going to abandon this spatula. I used it on the raw meat, and we're just going to use this clean one now. If you come in close, you can see some of the spaghetti starting to brown, and I believe last time that's what gave it the grilled flavor. In addition to the meat being grilled. I'm going to make a nice little hole right here. I'm going to dump this meat into it. Okay. Alright guys. The spaghetti noodles are good and hot. We're folding in the rest of the meat, and the most important thing that we're missing is the Cajun Power sauce. Give it a little shake, and we'll drizzle it in all fancy like. What the video doesn't do justice is the smell, which is a wonderful combination of sauce and meat and mushrooms and garlic. Just going to fold this in a little more. We really could almost use a little more sauce, but I think if I mix it well, it'll distribute nice and evenly. It's such a weird thing to cook on a griddle, but when you think about it, the convenience, the ability to cook a large amount at one time real fast. If we think about the prep time, it took longer to cook the noodles than it did to cook the meat and saute the mushrooms, which are coming out perfect. So right now, we're ready to pull it off. I'm just going to mix it just a little bit more. And if you come in close to the spaghetti, you'll be able to see there's some browned areas on the meat and the noodles. The pasta the sauce, the garlic, which I can still see some of the garlic, is all mixed in nicely. We've already salted and peppered everything. This meal is ready to eat and go right now. We can look at the mushrooms here. They're sizzling. They're well cooked through now. And if you look at the settings on the griddle here, it's not high. We are at the bottom third of the entire dial. So this thing cooks really hot, really nicely, and if you really wanted to crank up the griddle, you could. But I usually keep it at a lower temperature because the #1 rule at the Architect's Griddle is there's no mistakes unless you burn it. So if you're at a lower temperature, you just let it cook a little bit longer, and everything's good and everyone's happy. And we're going to go ahead and pull off the food and serve everyone. That's it for today. Boyardee, and it just looks spectacular and smells even better. I just wanted you guys to get a closer look at this steaming hot pile of spectacular spaghetti. And here is the end product of the sauteed mushrooms. We have dinner in 2 bowls right here.